Okay, friends, LED structures. A simple LED may be constructed by forming a PN junction using one of the direct band gap semiconductor materials. Such an LED is known as homojunction LED as the PN junction is made with the same type of material. Okay. Next, what are heterogeneous materials? If the PN junction is made up of with more than one material, then it is termed as heterogeneous structures. In order to have a device with high radiance and high quantum efficiency, the LED structures must provide means of carrier confinement and optical confinement. So, the carrier confinement would improve the radiance and internal quantum efficiency. LED structures. So, emitted photons can get absorbed by the surrounding materials, which can be prevented by better optical confinement. LED structures. So, carrier and optical confinements can be achieved by the use of single and double heterojunctions. In a heterojunction PN device, the junction is formed out of dissimilar crystalline semiconductors, and a combination of multiple heterojunctions together in a device called heterostructure. So, emitted photons can get absorbed by the surrounding materials, which can be prevented by better optical confinement. LED structures, carrier and optical confinements can be achieved by the use of single and double heterojunctions. In a heterojunction PN device, the junction is formed out of dissimilar crystalline semiconductors. Okay, a combination of multiple heterojunctions together in a device is called heterostructure. Next, in a heterostructure, the LED device has an active region catering to radiative recombination sandwiched between two different alloy layers. Next, LED configurations. The basic LED configurations used for fiber optics or surface emitters or burrows or front emitters, simply known as surface emitters and edge emitters. So, the plane of active light emitting region is oriented perpendicular to the axis of the fiber. A well is etched through the substrate of the device into which a fiber is then cemented in order to accept the emitted light. And then the emission pattern is essentially isotropic with a 120 degrees half power beam width. This isotropic pattern from a surface emitter is called Lambertian pattern. In this pattern, the source is equally bright when viewed from any direction, but the power is diminishes as cos theta, where theta is the angle between the viewing direction and normal to the surface. So this is the structure of the surface emitter LEDs. Okay. Surface emitter LEDs. See the structure of the emitter LEDs. It contains of the confinement layers. Middle of the confinement layer there should be active region, SiO2 isolation below that, and in the middle of the isolation there should be circular metal contact, and next metallization layer, and next heat sink, and above that the substrate is etched with a circular well, and in that substrate well the fiber material is cemented, and then after cementing the material is bonded with the bonding material. Okay, here it seems to be the structure of surface emitter LED. Next, double heterojunction LED. So what is double heterojunction LED? So black color indicates metal contact. Next, substrate, N-type substrate, aluminum gallium arsenide, and the two confinement areas are made with P aluminum gallium arsenide and N gallium arsenide metal contact. So this is the double heterojunction LED. Next, surface emitting LED. So the radiation pattern should be like this. So the orange color part indicates the radiation pattern. Okay, so how the radiation will be emitted from the active region. Okay, N type or P type gallium arsenide double heterojunction layers here we are using, and the optical fiber is cemented inside the substrate. Okay, the edge emitters consist of an active junction region which is the source of incoherent light and two guiding layers. So the guiding layers both have a refractive index which is lower than that of active region but higher than index of surrounding material. So edge emitter LED. So edge emitter LED structure looks like that. In that structure we have observed the active region which is having the incoherent optical output beam and the double heterojunction layers. Middle of the active region there should be light guiding layers, and then the metallization layer should be there. The heat sink will be there. The heat sink improves the lifespan of the LED. Double heterojunction layer and SiO2 isolation layer. Metallization for electrical contact and stripe contact defines the active area to be perfectly contacted within the substrate. Okay, the structure forms a waveguide channel that directs the optical radiation towards the fiber core. The radiation emits to air from the active area edge of the device. The contact strips are made to match the edge emitter active area compatible to optical fibers. The beam emitting from the edge emitter LED is more directional than surface emitter LED. The beam here is generally elliptical. Due to waveguiding effect, the beam is narrower in the plane perpendicular to the PN junction. The full width at half maximum is typically 25 to 35 degrees. However, since there is no waveguiding in lateral direction, that is in the plane parallel to the junction, the beam in the plane is Lambertian with a full wave half maximum of 120 degrees. Here there should be no waveguiding in the lateral direction. Why? Means the plane is parallel to the junction. Next, light source materials. So, what are light source materials? Here mainly the light source materials, the semiconductor material that is used for active layer of an optical source must have direct band gap material. In a direct band gap, electrons and holes can recombine directly without the third particle to conserve the momentum. So, third and fifth group elements are used here. Third group elements are aluminum, gallium or indium, and fifth group elements are phosphorus, arsenic or stibbium. The compounds are used. Combinations of binary compounds of these elements are also direct band gap materials and are suitable for optical sources. For operation in the 800 to 900 nanometer spectrum, the principal material is gallium 1 X, aluminum X, arsenic. The value of X for active area material is usually chosen to give an emission wavelength of 800 to 850 nanometers. Okay, at longer wavelengths, the indium 1 X, gallium X, arsenic Y, P1 Y is one of the primary material. By varying mole fractions X and Y in active area, the LEDs with peak out power can be constructed. Other notations are also mentioned here.